다른 제 hello 사람 새끼 흘리고 마부지 바와 엄마 위에 얼굴
আদিলে কম যাব নি আইতো আইতো
The Bizu festival and Bengali New Year celebrations have just ended. Meanwhile, Bangladesh, including the Chittagong Hill Tracts region, along with the rest of the world, has nearly come to a standstill on account of the excessive spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19, which has taken the form of a pandemic. The United Nations agency WHO and governments of different countries, along with Bangladesh, have called on all to refrain from going out and to stay at home. And if at all anyone has to go out, she or he should avoid physical contact and close proximity with others and keep a distance of at least 6 feet. Furthermore, in order to prevent the spread of the disease, people have been advised to refrain from coughing, sneezing, spitting, and discarding phlegm in public. If at all one has to cough or sneeze, one must do so on one's own elbow or handkerchief. Upon returning home after going out, one must not re-enter one's home without first washing one's hands in the UN-approved manner. In order to avoid spreading the coronavirus, which has enveloped the entire world, and to help contain its spread, the UN agency, WHO, and the US-based educational institution, Johns Hopkins University, have separately provided their advice on hand washing and social distancing. However, another UN agency, UNICEF, has also had its own hand-washing rules for over a decade and has even promoted the World Hand Washing Day on 15th October every year since 2008. The UNICEF rules continue to be relevant to tackle the current COVID-19 pandemic, but need to be applied in conjunction with the WHO and Johns Hopkins rules.
Deva halabela hoyavana guruguri. 파울에서도 좀 부리네 말로까지 넌 보더라 뭐지 뭐정 맞자 뛰는 뭐지 바꾸 가부르 밀려
The traditional institution of the Chittagong Hill Tracts, known as the Chakma Circle, in alliance with the Chakma royal family and the residents of Rajbari Island, has identified 11 such rules which it has adopted in the nature of binding custom. First rule: wet your hands properly with water. Second rule: lather your hands so that the soap reaches all parts of your hands. Third rule: place your right palm over the left dorsum with interlaced fingers and rub. Then vice versa. Fourth rule: rub your hands palm to palm with interlaced fingers. Fifth rule: with the backs of the fingers of one hand, rub the palm of the other hand with interlocked fingers. Sixth rule: rub the left thumb clasped in the right palm and vice versa. Seventh rule: rotationally rub backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of the right hand in the left palm in such a way that the dirt and germs on your nails are washed away, then vice versa with the other hand. Eighth rule: rub the lower palm and wrist of the left hand with the right palm, and vice versa. Ninth rule: rinse your hands thoroughly with water so that no dirt is left behind. 10th rule: wipe your hands with your own exclusive towel. Do not share that with others. You may also air dry or sun dry your hands. If you dry them over the fire, you must be an adult. Careful. 11th rule: if you use a tap, turn it off with a towel, not your bare hands. Where there is no shortage of water, one can wash one's hands with water from a tap or bucket or other receptacle, but one must ensure that the water is free from germs. Where water is scarce, one can use the homemade tippy tap to wash hands. You can thereby save water. Moreover, when you wash hands with it, there is no physical contact of the body or hands with the water receptacle, and hence you ensure that there is no transfer of germs from one person to another. If you press the stump lever with one leg, the water flows. Then you can soap your hands freely with both hands by yourself. The things you need are a 5 or 10 litre plastic jerry can, a nail, 5 feet of rope, soap, and 4 or 5 tree stumps. 2 stumps must be of a Y shape as needed for catapults. Then a knife and a shovel. The 2 Y-shaped stumps must be dug firmly into the ground vertically. Then another stump must be placed horizontally over them. A hole needs to be pierced on the jerry can with a nail about 6 inches below the top. The job is easier done if one first burns the nail. The lid of the can must be pierced with the nail. One end of the rope will go into this hole and fastened with a knot on the inner side of the lid. The soap must be pierced with the nail and hung up with the thread. and the can must be filled with water up to the hole. But only women shouldn't fetch water. Men should do so too. One stump goes through the handle of the can and is suspended on the vertical stumps. The rope on the lid is then tied to the other stumps. Pedal with one foot and water will flow. Adequate water should be kept in the can, and which should be maintained in a clean way and regularly so that the water doesn't get contaminated. Even after taking the precautionary measures mentioned a little while ago, there is no guarantee that someone in your village or locality, or even in your family, is not going to get the coronavirus. People with heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and respiratory diseases, and older persons are particularly vulnerable. It may even be fatal for them. If a family member catches the virus, do not delay. Get medical attention. If you can't get a doctor, consult a health worker.
আমি সুজন দেওয়ান, আমি একজন স্বাস্থ্যকর্মী। তবে এই করোনা ভাইরাসের ব্যাপারে আমি একটি বার্তা দিতে চাই। বাংলাদেশ সরকার কর্তৃক, এমনকি বিশ্ব স্বাস্থ্য সংস্থা এবং অনেক আন্তর্জাতিক সংস্থা এই বার্তাগুলি দিয়ে যাচ্ছেন। এই বার্তাগুলি আমরা মেনে চললে আপনারা সুস্থ থাকবেন এবং ভালো থাকবেন। সবাইকে আমি এই বার্তাগুলি একটু মেনে চলার অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি।
If that's not possible either, approach your council member or social leader. If someone is afflicted with the coronavirus or is suspected of having contracted it, she or he must be isolated in a separate room away from the others in the family. This is called quarantine in medical language. Do look after him or her with care. She or he is sick and is not an offender and is a member of our family and our community. Where it is not possible for a family to arrange a separate room for a coronavirus patient, or where the number of persons afflicted with the virus or suspected to be so afflicted is more than one, the social leaders and the youth must come forward to take on the collective responsibility. This pandemic is hurting me, you, and everybody. That is how we must think. We urge you to cooperate with your government authorities and with your community leaders so that the pandemic leaves our village, locality, country, and the entire world. However, until this pandemic is totally overcome, we appeal to you to stand alongside persons with disability, the elderly, the sick, pregnant women, the indigent, and those from marginalized communities.